It's scary. It's harsh. He's like part of our family.
When their furry best friend was rushed into emergency surgery, they thought he'd be home in no time.
I cried for days straight. I didn't know what to do.
But they couldn't bring him home because his family couldn't afford the vet bill.
There's my puppy.
Tonight, thanks to the kindness of the vet and you, our Denver7 Gives viewers, this pup is coming home just in time for Thanksgiving.
The infection rate in Colorado getting worse, and tonight, Congresswoman-elect Lauren Boebert is threatening to defy orders and find a way around the state's limit on personal gatherings.
I just don't believe that it's the government's role to mandate how many family members we can have in our own private home.
Her move comes as controversy surrounds Mayor Hancock's decision to hop on a plane and see his family today.
There was a couple weeks where we were unsure of what the future looked like.
Plus, shifting their business model.
After our last snowstorm, a few restaurants are understanding the difference between a tent and a metal structure.
A shipping container company now changing its purpose to help struggling restaurants rebound.
On this night before Thanksgiving, let's begin with the story of a family going through a very difficult time, but who found a reason to be thankful.
Their dog is part of the family and needed emergency surgery, and the vet bill was just too big to pay.
But as Gary Brode reports tonight, this story has a happy ending because of you, our generous Denver7 viewers.
Without J-Rock, we're not a whole family. We're just missing one piece.
It would be weird to not have our dog on Thanksgiving.
1 week before Thanksgiving, J-Rock feasted on something he shouldn't have.
And then he just got worse really quick. So I took him to an ER.
Jenny Smith says a piece of string caused the damage and even punctured the 5-year-old dog's pancreas.
They didn't think he would make it.
Thanks to the emergency surgery at Planned Parenthood, J-Rock survived. However, company policy says the animal can't go home until the bill is paid.
Bad news is I don't have the money to pick him up, and if I don't have the money to pick him up, he stays here.
The $2,000 bill was way more than the struggling family could afford.
I can't afford anything extra right now. My partner was laid off due to COVID.
Wanting to reunite the family, Planned Parenthood helped out.
They took off a considerable amount, almost $1,000. They got it down as low as they could.
To come up with the rest, Smith's children, Jennifer and Joseph, started a GoFundMe.
To help our mom.
Their teachers donated to the fund, but it wasn't enough, and the kids prepared for a holiday without their best friend.
We usually have him sitting next to us watching a family movie or something, but if we don't have him for Thanksgiving, then we can't really do that.
The family thought we were here to get the word out about their GoFundMe, but Denver7 decided to take it a step further.
Instead of the GoFundMe, don't worry about that, because Denver7 is going to pay for your entire vet bill so that J-Rock can come home for Thanksgiving.
Are you serious? Dude, he's getting the bug back.
Wait, this isn't no joke or anything?
J-Rock's going to be out here in a few minutes. We're going to cover your bill.
Thank you so very much.
Hi, J-Rock, come here.
A few minutes later, J-Rock, with his tail wagging, left the vet, happy to see his family, make his TV debut, and eat a little snow. So for this Thanksgiving, J-Rock can expect a lot more petting and even more love for his return home.
Thank you so much.
In Wheat Ridge, Gary Brode.
I'm just so grateful for Denver7 and everybody to help us out.
Denver7.
All right, nice Thanksgiving story there. Republican Congresswoman-elect Lauren Boebert from Rifle says she's ready to host a big Thanksgiving gathering despite state COVID rules. Now, Boebert says the state allows for up to 30 people at a funeral. So she says she's hosting a funeral for a dead turkey at her Thanksgiving meal. On Twitter, she writes, rather than just a funeral for a turkey, I'll be holding one for a pig and a duck as well. That makes my guest limit about 90, right? Now, she tells us she's not actually hosting 30 people or even 90. She was being facetious to prove a point.
The American people are tired of it. They're tired of the government overreach, coming in and dictating every part of their lives and what they can and cannot do, even in their private homes.
Boebert says she will have a family gathering tomorrow, but says they'll take precautions, practice good hygiene, be cautious around people. She also adds that her 85-year-old grandmother will not be there.
We've heard the message from city, state, and health officials: don't travel this Thanksgiving. Even Denver Mayor Michael Hancock pleaded with Denverites to not travel. Still, he hopped on a plane today to go to Mississippi to have Thanksgiving with his wife and daughter, and it's causing quite the controversy. The mayor previously said he was ditching the family gathering and connecting over video instead. Well, just this morning, he sat down with our Denver7 morning team, reinforcing the importance of sticking to coronavirus guidelines.
During this holiday, if you can, remain in your household. If you can, stay with just those in your household. If not, do what we've always been asking throughout the entire experience: wear a mask, social distance, and wash your hands.
Now, Mayor Hancock issued a statement this afternoon apologizing, saying, as the holiday approached, I decided it would be safer for me to travel to see them than to have two family members travel back to Denver. And he goes on to say, I made my decision as a husband and father. And for those who are angry and disappointed, I humbly ask you to forgive decisions that are born of my heart and not my head. The mayor will comply with directives issued to all city employees in quarantine for 2 weeks upon his return. Now, Governor Jared Polis said he wasn't aware of the mayor's plans, and he said he's staying home with his immediate family for Thanksgiving.
Mayor Hancock was among the 34,000 travelers who went through DIA checkpoints today. That's compared to 200,000 this time last year. And when you look at the numbers from the weekend before Thanksgiving, airport traffic at DIA is still down about 50% year over year. Nationwide, officials are expecting this Sunday to be one of the busiest travel days since the beginning of the pandemic. And some of you have reached out to Denver7 questioning why airport restaurants still have indoor dining despite the airport being in a county that's in a red zone. So here's the answer. The airport is exempt from those restrictions because of the unique situation to provide food and services to traveling people and employees who spend an extended period of time in one place with no other food options.
All 5 restaurants that were closed earlier this week for defying orders in Douglas County are now allowed to reopen. They were letting in diners even though the county entered the red zone, which banned indoor dining. Well, late today, Tri-County Health rescinded those closure orders, saying it has reached an agreement with the businesses to reopen safely and that their goal is to get restaurants to comply.
As we head into the holiday, the state is now saying 1 in 41 Coloradans is contagious. It's as high as 1 in 29 in some parts of the state, including Pueblo, and this is by far the highest infectious rate we have had to date. 4,100 new cases reported today, so we have surpassed 210,000 total. And check on our hospital capacity tonight. Nearly 1,800 Coloradans hospitalized, either with confirmed or suspected case of COVID-19. And half of all adult care critical ventilators in the state are now in use, and 81% of ICU beds are in use.
The governor's special session, it's slated to begin on Monday, but he's already taking action to help struggling Coloradans. Today, he signed an executive order that extends the state sales tax payment deadline for 30 days. This is for bars and restaurants and other small businesses like food trucks. Lawmakers next week will likely consider a proposal to allow these businesses to hang on to up to $2,000 in sales taxes from November through February. A Denver startup wasn't sure what their future looked like until they found use for their shipping containers.
And that helped them boost their bottom line and help restaurants rebound. Denver7's Addie Guajardo explains.
Roam the Rhino Art District, and you'll want to take a peek.
We should be able to get 30 people in.
Anthony Hulsh, the CEO of Roxbox, a Denver company, is shaking up the art scene on the block and his business vision.
There was a couple weeks where we were unsure of what the future looks like.
The direction for the container company is now clear.
We had a couple restaurant owners honestly reach out to us asking for a solution.
So they did. And Block Distilling Company is among the first to jump in on their innovation, turning containers into outdoor businesses and shelter.
This is a double 40-foot wide with multiple openings.
A solid solution, owner Craig Weaver says he won't have to chase after.
Going to stand up to any of the weather that, you know, the crazy Colorado weather.
A shelter he hopes will attract business.
We're planning on having some mural artists in to work on the containers.
The containers go up quickly.
We put this up in about 4 hours today.
The cost of this one?
Probably about $30,000.
And they're versatile. It's why Anthony says they're in talks with hospitals and health departments.
We have an off-grid solar refrigerated and freezing container that can handle vaccine distribution.
He says they can also be turned into ICU units. The future of Roxbox is clear, and so is their mission.
We'll cut our margins to make sure we save some of these local businesses.
The city of Denver has approved patio dining through October of 2021, and the owners here say they plan to keep these containers as long as possible. Addie Guajardo, Denver7.
For some of us, Thanksgiving week marks the start of ski season, and Summit County wants ski resorts to cut skier numbers in the midst of this third wave. Summit County is in the red zone, as you know, and the health department is now asking ski areas to submit plans to reduce their daily capacity. Now, tonight we're not getting answers about exactly what that means, but Keystone, Breckenridge, and A-Basin are all in Summit County. They're all open. Copper Mountain is set to open next week. Officials at Vail Resorts say Keystone and Breck have already adjusted their dining facilities to just grab and go and outdoor dining. They will work with the county to determine any further adjustments.
More than 3 weeks after the election, the 18th judicial district race for DA is headed for a recount. Republican John Kellner leads Democrat Amy Padden by about 1,400 votes. A state statute forces a recount when the margin between the candidates is half a percentage point or less. The 18th district covers Arapahoe, Douglas, Elbert, and Lincoln counties. Current DA George Brockler is term limited, and the recount starts on Tuesday.
Not a major storm for Thanksgiving, but I'll let you know what this cold front has planned for Colorado.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, who does that?
Holiday decorations meant to bring cheer, ruined by a Grinch who tried to steal Christmas from several Colorado families. Tonight, the search is on to find him.
This is just a time we want to be together.
And if you plan on safely gathering with loved ones this Thanksgiving, an expert weighs in on little things you can do in your household to prevent the virus's spread.